Okay,
So all right, let me see.
you go. Go ahead, Marcus.
I can actually agree with that.
You do you look to like? Do you really expect women to give us protection?
Uh, hold on, real quick, Marcus. Was Coach K? Did she have a response to? Is that reason why she asked me that question, Marcus? And then I'm gonna answer your question to make sure that
No,
I
you're
think
good.
she.
No, you're good. I was just kind of trying to kind of close this into somewhere we can all kind of leave this conversation on somewhat of a good page with understanding, and then we'll take it from here. Whether people, only time will tell. I mean, that's that's all I got.
Okay,
I don't
what you
know.
say, Marcus family?
Yeah, you're good.
Like, what type of protection would you like to see women provide?
Just advocating for the brothers who are good brothers, and then when a woman is out of line, the women like our grandmothers did, like our aunts did, like Trigger was talking about culturally, address those women. The what culturally what was powerful about society was how powerful women were because they had the leverage from men. Women were powerful because there was powerful men, and they respected the power they got from good men. So they would advocate for good men when good men were being attacked or disrespected. That's all I'm saying. Women could we that's what a matriarch is. She speaks
By
on
women.
those women. She speaks against those women when they disrespect at least the good men.
Ali, can I just ask you a question as well? So, in that regard, so the way women can protect men is advocate for them, right? So, my question to you, are we only relegated to the advocacy of saying when you guys are doing the right thing, or when you need to be held accountable to, is never a woman's place to hold you to account and just leave it up to the men?
I would like to answer that actually.
No,
Thank you.
let
Yeah,
Ali
that's a good
answer
question.
first, and
And
then
I'd like to chime in.
you answer.
So I think there might be multiple ways to answer this, but you might be onto something because remember I said that women aren't supposed to be talking to men like they crazy at all, and it's not a woman's place to correct a man in that way at all. It really isn't. When you notice that yes, men do hold each other responsible for things, that's what men do, and then you ultimately expect men to also have the ability to correct women and the women in their house. You need to like literally cut all women off from posturing men. It's not safe for them because here's the thing: think about the way women are going to behave if we're still using the situation of Lapeef and Sunday and that girl. How I would not feel right inside to know that my daughter can be outside of my presence, my covering, and my household talking to random men out there like that. Literally, if she gets punched in the face, if I see it on camera, but I know that that's her behavior, I'm not going to be surprised. I could be mad all I want to. I'm not going to be surprised. Literally teaching girls that they need to have a level of submission for all men in the form of respect is should be standard. Do not raise your voice at men at all. And other women are supposed to check that. That is for your own safety. That is for the betterment of society. And you let the man be wrong at all times. This is the counterintuitive way. I don't even know if that's the right word, but that works. When you are feminine and don't move off of your feminine frame, men recognize you as someone they need to protect. The reason why we let women get their ass whooped out here is because they behave masculine themselves because we don't recognize you anymore as someone who needs our protection. That's why women should stop women from other women from posturing men altogether.
I agree, but what I was getting at is even if I'm in my I think part of the problem is that when you're in relationship, whether it's friendship, whether it's any spaces, however you define what the relationship to be, and we are communicating with each other. As a woman, what I've seen, it seems like a lot of the correction is one directed. And then when a woman points out something that as men we feel that needs to be corrected, we are like, well, you shouldn't be, up here, you moving the goalpost up. See how they dodging the question up. They're trying to point out men, doing the wrong thing. But the purpose of that is if you're going to hold someone accountable, a lot of times you look for, especially if you're in leadership, you lead by example. So if you're doing some correcting, which we all need, you can't say, I need correction, but I'm going to choose who the correction should come from. As a woman, there's going to be certain things as a woman that I'm going to see that other men will not be able to point out to you in relation to how you would deal with me as a woman. So, for example, with Hank, I remember the first time I was on a panel with Hank, his disposition was very off-putting to me. Ricky, same thing, very off-putting to me as a woman. That the and I'm not, and like now I love them now that I've gotten the opportunity to get to know them, but we brush it off and we say, well, that's just Hank, or that's just Ricky, or that, when it's that kind of vibe and you get to know them. But what I'm trying to say as a woman, when I try to say, can you watch your tone with me, because it makes me feel, and a lot of times men don't like hearing this, your tone at times can make a woman feel unsafe when the tone is aggressive. And so, right. And so in me correcting you, like, B-Mon, can you watch the way that, you say that to me? I can say that as feminine as possible. The response will always be, don't tone police. Don't tell me how to say X, Y, and Z. Don't speak for me. And it's not that. It's trying to be correction in dealing with me and dealing with most women. Every woman that I know who has been on She Critique, and we've had Hink, or we've had Ricky, or anybody with that type of like bravado or personality, have all made the same observation. So if across the board, just talking about in terms of how
I think it's
can be a little off-putting to women in the way that they receive it. If everybody is viewing the same thing, there has to be something there. And as a man, you're not going to notice it because you're like, oh, that's the way men talk. We understand that. But as a woman, we're going to receive things differently, and we should be able to have the space and feel comfortable and feel safe to be able to say certain things to you. So that's all I'm
20 to 30 years.
You have to be open for correction and communication to go both ways. That's all I'm saying.
I'll go after Ellie.
In 20 to 30 years, you ain't got to worry about this problem. They ain't gonna be good men. Good men are gonna be out the door. The fact that Ricky and Hank are used as an example of a certain facade that comes into the room as aggression is crazy to me. And by most of the men, they're looked at as men. And some of the men may look at them as a certain way because of their tonality, depending on the room. But there's so many other men we can point fingers at that are completely disrespectful, completely the definition of what disgusting is. Those two men advocate for family. Those two men advocate for a presence of men. Yeah, we want men to talk like women. We want men to be small. We want men to not speak up when they want to speak up. We want men to not say nothing at all, but say what women like to hear. So this is what's going to happen in the next 20, 30 years. You're going to have a whole bunch of emasculated men. You're going to have a whole bunch of men that's not going to come to the protection of women. You're going to have a whole bunch of men that's not going to come to the protection of kids. And you can do your head like that because it's already happening now. No one's going to advocate for men, women, or children because there's not going to be no families. It's going to be a few families left, little strong families, and all those women are going to try to run to those men, and it's going to be too late.